Okay, next we've got Erik and Coach T. They're going to talk about QualAI as qualitative researchers. Come on up.
Thank you. All right. I have a 4- and a 6-year-old. Every night before bed, I read my kids a story. Stories convey lessons about successes and failures. They provide insight into what is possible. Stories additionally provide insight into the overall human experience. We are in the business of understanding stories. QualAI is the world's most powerful qualitative data analysis solution. We are challenging the research status quo by integrating AI technology into the qualitative data analysis market. So I'm Erik Allenson.
And I'm Coach T. Bridges. And we are academic researchers specializing in qualitative methods. We came together with a common mission to improve qualitative data analysis tools.
So academic researchers use qualitative data in a variety of means. We use it to understand concepts, various opinions, and stories of our research participants. However, there's a significant problem with qualitative data today. First, it's heavily subjective, and it isn't necessarily prone or supported by any type of empirical backing. And then a lot of researchers will integrate their own biases into the research process to affirm their own predetermined assumptions or validate the various hypotheses that they have at the beginning of a research study.
It's also very time-consuming.
So let's take a look at the qualitative data analysis problem through the following story. So Erik is an academic researcher at the University of Cincinnati. He just receives a $500,000 grant to study the impact of student career preparation within STEM majors. Erik decides he's going to employ qualitative methods through a survey analysis technique. Erik receives over 700 responses from student participants at the beginning of his study. Erik begins marking up his qualitative data set using a highlighter, sketching up memos in the margins with a pen, and taking notes on separate sheets of paper. Unfortunately, within the grant period, Erik is unable to derive any findings of significance. As a result, the grant funding is retracted, and Erik is left with over 700 pages of wasted data and hundreds of hours of wasted time.
Then we get to Coach T's story, which is a little different from Erik's. So Coach T has received $750,000 in grant funding to study service learning pedagogy for college students. She knows that her data set is going to be quite large and probably just impossible to manually analyze. So she decides to use QualAI. She inputs over 700 pages of content, and instantaneously she receives codes and themes to use in her research. She takes these codes and themes, interpret them, and publish her research, and voila. Her funding has increased, and she receives an award from the International Service Learning Association because she was able to meet the deadline so far in advance.
So QualAI is different. We leverage the power of AI to analyze large-scale qualitative data sets with high validity and almost instantaneous efficiency. So just as an example, the AI market space currently has a valuation of over $136 billion, with an estimated growth rate of over 37% annually. One of our market competitors that does exclusively quantitative analysis and doesn't integrate AI like our tool does has a current valuation of $1.2 billion. So all of these products up here lack integrated AI.
We currently have a beta application, and we're looking for partners to join us in delivering the most powerful qualitative analysis tool to market. We believe that with the right help, we can bring QualAI to academic researchers within 6 months. We encourage you to follow or check out QualAI.org for more information.
Thank you, everyone, for your time. Are there any questions?
All right. Any questions for Erik and Coach T? Any qualitative researchers out there? Not earnest.
Yeah, Mandy.
Did you use QualAI for your research?
I validated part of my research in my dissertation utilizing the application we built. Yes. Yep. We actually, so context, we just went through our doctoral dissertations and defenses and looked at all the tools in the current market space and said, everything that we're told we should use currently is garbage and we can do it better. So that's how this idea came to fruition.
Would your results be different if you had used your AI on your research?
That's a good question. I don't know that they would necessarily be different entirely. I think a lot of the themes that we manually analyzed over hours and hours and hours of scrolling through various surveys were actually pretty well supported through the application. Yeah.
There was another hand in the back, or no?
Yeah.
No.
I was going to say, what does the output look like? So if I input all my wall data, what do I get out?
Yeah, so, and there's actually a video available on QualAI.org where I walk through a demo of the application and actually input a fairly large qualitative data set, and then the output is generated within the video and into 5 thematic categories. So essentially what it does is it takes a lot of written content or qualitative content, and we've developed an application that can project, hey, here are the top 5 themes that came out and are present within this data set.
Can you do video or just reports?
Right now, it's only text, but I also have a codification tool where a qualitative researcher could take a very large data set as well and say, hey, what are the common codes or keywords that are being identified by research participants? And it will output a list. Right now, I have it built to do 20 of the top codes that are identified within that data.
Are you envisioning like an SPSS where it's a software that you download, or is it a web-based application? If so, how do you deal with data security?
Yeah, for sure. I think eventually we'd like to move to a subscription-based model and have a software application associated with this. Right now, it's just based on a relatively simple web application that I built. But I think there's potential because when we look at the market space and our current competitors, they seem to thrive in a very subscription-based model format. And so I think we would try to mimic that.
Michelle.
Is it based on data that only you have collected, or is there any web scraping? Like if I came to a really odd question, could you possibly go without me going and doing a counting part? Could you go scrape from somewhere else?
We could, yeah. I would say one of the unique features of this is we've personally modified the algorithm based on certain parameters that we've determined are significant for qualitative researchers. So it's not going to look like anything else on the market because those parameters are so unique.
All right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'll take that.